No real picture here, but yeah. I just needed to get out of the house today before it got dark and didn't have anywhere to go. But I'm going to make a video. This video is about, it's the third, I believe, part to a story, a series. And this one is the one that's placed in a small town. And there were women who are volunteers that basically do care packages, package up stuff for people who have been victims of whatever. Okay, and there's no boss there. They just go to this place, and somebody has a key and lets them all in. They've been doing this for many years, and the stuff is shipped to them, and all they get is directions on what to do, and somebody comes and picks it up and all that. And they know one another. It's a small town. They know one another. There's only one woman. She comes from another town. But she really doesn't tell anybody about, why she comes to that town. And but these are just women, say, in their 50s and up. And they do it because they, like doing things for charity. Well, not all of them. One woman, I need to give her a name. I don't think I've given her a name yet. I'll think about that. But she is more of a narcissistic histrionic type of a blend. Not any disorder. It's just her behaviors are this. Okay, and when I tell the story, I say you, and that doesn't mean you. It's just the way I tell the story. I've mentioned in the other two videos, she is very loud in her voice and her laughter, her appearance, and I mean, sometimes it's kind of suggestive, like a shirt cut too low. But usually it's just more like her hair is, her clothing is just not what usually people around that age. She wants to look much, much younger, like in her 20s, when she's in her 50s. And she's just very loud, like I said, with her voice and her, and she wants everybody to know that she knows everything. And every time she comes in there, she talks all about her, what she knows, what she's learned. And most often it's misinformation. And she just thinks she's right, and if anybody says, no, you're wrong, she, throws a fit. It's what some call a narcissistic injury, and then narcissistic rage. But her ego gets bruised, and she finds ways to, turn it off of herself, so she thinks. Not many people are buying it, except for what some call flying monkeys, her flying monkeys. The people who think that she's just the best thing in the world. And they're kind of like, they want to be like her. And of course, she thinks she is, the most popular person there. And she has been, basically told off before, but she's not about to quit because that's where she gets a lot of attention. And that's her goal. That's her purpose, is to get a lot of attention. She loves being the center of attention. Everybody's eyes are on her. She doesn't care if it's negative or positive attention. She just wants the attention. Okay, so she makes sure even with her loud voice, loud clothing, whatever, she gets this attention. And in the last video, these aren't going to be perfect. I'm just coming up with them, and I don't have anything written down for this. But in the last video, I think I mentioned that she had come in late. That she likes to do that to make a grand entrance. So everybody, she gets everybody's attention. She comes in talking very loud, so everybody there. It's all women. They all hear her. And but this time, in that last video, she came in late, as usual, and she started doing the things wrong, and she started blaming, everybody else. Well, they put them out wrong, or this or that, and it just goes. You go and watch it. Okay. So somebody after that had a discussion with her that her behavior is inappropriate. And if she doesn't stop, she will be reported. Now, this is a charity, so being reported. Well, there's a big central place, not located there. They do this with a lot of small towns in that area. But one person knows somebody to contact, and she lets her know very nice, very calmly, very politely. Lets her know. And of course, she just doesn't think she's wrong about anything. But they this woman lets her know, no, you need to stop it. That's it. I will report you. Okay, which, just really has her enraged. in her mind, but she knows to keep quiet because this is where she gets her attention. So there's one thing that she has found that she's done in the past that, they really can't say anything about, and that is she starts talking loud enough. She sits around her little flying monkeys, the ones who just praise her, and but she still sometimes talks loud enough so everybody can hear her. And this one, she talks about how rough and tough she is. She's been so tough. She grew up and she really knew how to handle people who were mean or rude or something like that. Now, I get it. She's the one who is usually the mean and rude one, but she says it's others. Okay, so she talks all about that. Talks a big talk, and so this time she does it too. And she after that discussion, she waits a little while. Not that day, but some other day, a few days down the times that they're together, and then maybe a couple, and then she starts talking about how she grew up real tough and she knows how to handle herself, and she goes on to say things like, if she makes up some kind of scene, that happened according to her, which really didn't probably, that she had to call in some troops. She knows, she knows how to get to people who will handle the situation for her. She puts out that, and what it really is an indirect threat to anybody who crosses the line as she sees it. You see what I'm saying? She wants the world to know, and the world is the people there, the women there, that don't cross her. Okay, and as an indirect threat. There's nothing anybody can say, oh, she threatened us. It's an indirect threat. And the other people, the other women there, they hear her and they just blow her off. They know she's just a, what do you call it, blowhard? She is just that. She's just all of the histrionic behaviors and all that. They just tend to blow her off because that's how they see her, as just someone who's a clown, who's making a fool of herself by doing things like that. And it wasn't the case the first time, but somebody got a little bit ticked, because people get ticked every once in a while because she's just too much, way too much. And but she doesn't see herself that way. She thinks she's perfect, like I said. And so this time, the last time something happened, and it wound up, for her in her life, is that it wound up bad for her. But she did not see that she was in any way, shape, form, or fashion wrong. She saw that she was right, and she wasn't. And people have heard about it. They know about it. Some people who are there know about it. Now, I'm going to say that it wasn't there. It could have been there. And this is just a story. Like I said, a fictional, hypothetical fictional, so it's not perfect, and I'm not an author. Just making, making little short stories. She does this again, of putting out this little indirect threat to anybody who crosses the line with her. That she's supposed to, and what she's really trying to say is she better be respected or else. Like she has connections, something like that, that people should be afraid, be very afraid of her. Just let her be, and because she's the wisest and this, knows all of it and everything in the world, and nobody should dare to tell her she was wrong. Like she was told she was wrong, and if she continues, she will be reported. No, nobody should do that. She's going to let them know in some way. And that was this little story she made up. Okay, so she waited after that. She waited for a couple of times. They say it was a couple of times later. And they meet up whenever they're needed. Sometimes it's every day of the week, sometimes it's not. And sometimes they don't do it at all. But she waited a couple of times. Then she started her crap. The big crap. That was already crap. But she starts talking about stuff that is so unbelievably offensive. And I'm not talking about like sex or something like that, but just offensive to most of the people there, except for, of course, her flying monkeys. And they're rallying behind her, and they're all happy she's, they really love her opinions on stuff and what she's saying. It's all fact, and it's all fiction. And she's going off saying that anybody who doesn't believe the way she believes, they're just been told wrong, and they're, they are the ones who put out this fiction, this misinformation. Not her. She knows it all. She does. And it's so very offensive. Some of these women, they just can't handle it. Okay, and as you can see, well, come on, she was setting the scene. She's going to continue to be the top person in her mind there, and that everybody needs to, see that she is the authority on everything she talks about, and that they do not cross her. They do not tell her she's going to be reported or she's going to get backup. She sets all this up. So then she can go and talk about things, anything she wants to, and they just have to listen, because that's who she is, and they have to listen to her. And her opinion of herself over these years has gotten, to others, to ones who are not her flying monkeys and not herself, the others, her opinion of herself, her whole attitude has just gotten worse over years. And the other ones, they're sick of it. They are sick of it. She just is out of control, and they see it, and they don't like it. They're there to do volunteer. They're sincere about why she's there, and her flying monkeys are for this kind of thing. It's drama. They're all very dramatic. Their behaviors are rather histrionic. And that's what they want, that control. See, the others, they need to make a decision. What can they do about this? Because it's gone too far, where they know that was an indirect threat, and she was setting the scene so she could do and say whatever she wants. And that's not where they are. They're not going to allow that. This is not what it is to them. But the question is, who's right? Okay. And that is, who's right and to say what it is, the people working there. You see what I'm saying? Because, this side of her and her side, her flying monkeys, they see that this is what makes it worth coming to do. To come volunteer, is that there's things going on. They have these lively discussions, and they have someone who really knows all about everything, and that they can learn from this person, and they can have community together. Okay, and then they see these other ones who aren't liking it, they're a problem. You see, they see that they are the problem. Okay, and the ones who are not histrionic, who don't have these wild behaviors, they see that those, her and her flying monkeys are the problem. So that's what I'm saying. Who's right? I know what I would say is right is the people who are there it's a volunteer, it's a charity, and they're there to do charitable work. They're not there for drama. They're not there for somebody to be some kind of teacher, voice of authority that is not, and spread around, things that are misinformation and could actually harm people, like, people who want to talk about what kind of diet you should follow, what you should do in various medical situations, and on and on. That's what this woman is she's one who tries to tell people how they should do things like that. And she is not a doctor or nurse or healthcare professional at all. And that's what she wants to do. She wants the freedom to do it, while the others are saying, no, you're not right, for one thing, and really you're not a doctor. You see, along this line, they're not going to just sit quietly. Some of them do. Some of them don't. Now, and I also know that there would be some people that says, why can't we just all get along? And then there would be some people who just would say, it's people who are hearing this, they would say, well, both sides are right, and everybody should have a chance. And, various opinions people can have on this. But what do you think? How do you see it? Seriously. Okay, I'm going to, wrap this one up. But if you have a view on it and you feel like sharing, just leave a comment below. And read the disclaimer below this video on YouTube. Talk to you on another video. Bye.